Alright, this is a little bit of a different video. Today I'm here to talk about the video game industry. And by the way, just ignore how bad I am at TF2, okay? I'm I'm not that good and I haven't played in months, okay? Uh so I'm here to talk about the video game industry. Basically, I'm here to talk about how some games will just put out anything knowing that their consumers will buy it. And how messed up that is to the people that'll pay hundreds of dollars a year on multiple games that are essentially the same exact thing with barely any new features, and even when there are new features they don't really matter that much. Now one big person that does this is uh 2K and Madden. um I forget what company makes them. I think it's just I forget what company makes them. But actually no, they're two different. My bad. They're two different things. But EA and 2K are definitely responsible for these. See, I think the last creative 2K was 2K17. And that came out 4 years ago. That came out 4 years ago, and I think that was the last creative storyline. After that, I think it really just went downhill, and they just started repeating the same thing over and over because they could, and people would buy it. No questions asked. People would just buy it, and I was one of those people. Every time that a 2K game came out, the entire year I was ready. I would set off $60 from the last Christmas just to buy the 2K next September. And I always had that date in my head, September 5th or September 4th. It's either September 5th or September 4th. I had that in my brain. I had that down. But then after 2K18, it kind of did go downhill. Actually, 2K18 was pretty downhill. But then after 2K19, it was 2K20, I think. I just decided to stop. And I didn't get it this year because I figured I didn't have the money. And, I mean, it would just be a waste of $60. That's also the same reason that for the last 2 years I haven't bought Madden, because they do the same thing, but they started a lot earlier and it's a lot worse. Actually no, they didn't start earlier. They both started. Actually no, they did. They started earlier. They started back in 2016. 2016 also. But I mean, I didn't. That was when I started playing Madden. They probably had this problem way before that. But this time it was way worse. It was 2K. They at least changed the storyline a little bit, or don't continue the same thing, or have a new concept. With Madden, oh, you best believe there for like the first like 2 years I started playing, there was no story mode. There was franchise mode, and that was the most awful story mode in quotation marks I have ever played. It is so boring, and I never realized that, because you can like max out your player and everything and do all that and make him how you want. That's cool. That aspect is cool. But you don't have any dialogue or cutscenes. It's just straight football. Is that what we came for? Yes. But I mean, it's still just annoying because I feel like they're trying to count it as a story mode when it's really not. It's just an excuse for one. But then they did add something. I forget what it's called. But it was like the road to the NFL. Was that creative? Yes. And I loved playing through it the first time. And then that was on 2K18. Not 2K18, Madden 18. I'm gonna be honest. When Madden 19 came out and I had it, my brother gave it to me because it was like $20. Uh, I scratched it. I took I took a cheese knife, and I scratched it. And now the disc won't work anymore. I kid you not. If I had a webcam, I would show you proof. I did scratch it. Maybe when I grow up, I'll post it on social media one day. But I promise you, I took a knife. I took a cheese knife, like a two-edged knife, and I scratched it because of how hard it was. It wasn't because of the video game itself. It was so hard, and it was not as good as the last one. Yeah, I hated it so much. I scratched it with a knife. Do I have any regrets? Absolutely not. Not one bit. And also, there's a thing like, there's a thought in your head like, will the next video game in this franchise be trash? Like, like, let's say you play, like, your favorite video game is Zelda. You have to constantly think, oh my gosh, is the next Zelda game gonna be trash? And it might be. It really might be, and I think that's the biggest fear for some people. Or that it might be a reboot of something. Like, I bet, I bet so many Zelda fans were like horrified when they found out that the newest Zelda is going to be what was a reboot of uh the island game. I'm sorry, I have bad memory, but of the one with the island, that game still gives me chills. That was the first Zelda game I've ever played, and looking back at it, I never finished it. I couldn't find the boss. But looking back at it, it was a really good game. Even though it was a reboot. Yeah. But they are coming out with Breath of the Wild 2. But you know what's devastating? What if Breath of the Wild is like Breath of the Wild 2 is bad? Cuz I heard that like Breath of the Wild was like this like the third or second best Zelda from most Zelda fans. Like the first was always the Ocarina of Time, and the second was either Majora's Mask or Breath of the Wild. And so you know how devastating it would be if BOW 2 was just garbage, didn't have any good characters, the attack, you know, the attack stuff was just awful, and like it was just bad. The storyline was bad. The character design was bad, and they barely had any cutscenes or dialogue, and they had annoying characters. Just what if that happened? Now I don't mean to strike fear into you, and because I said that, I know this is gonna get a lot of dislikes now if anyone finds it, which they won't. But in case anyone does, that probably won't happen because I know something. See, about Nintendo, they have certain franchises that they treat very well. They have certain franchises like the one I cherish the most, Mario Kart, where they just say, "Yeah, man, give them some new maps from the game, man. Yeah, awesome. Put it out, make it $60. They'll enjoy it." And then there's franchises like Zelda, where they put time into the characters and, what they do, what they look like, the storyline, the dialogue, stuff like that. But see, the thing about that is Mario Kart isn't a storyline game. Yeah, it isn't. Doesn't mean that you don't have to put no effort into it at all. I'm sorry. But yeah, every day I pray for Mario Kart 9. I just want it so badly because even though I raged a lot at Mario Kart 8, I still loved it. It was still good. And also, you know what they don't treat good? Even though it's their most popular franchise and the thing that got them going in the first place? Mario. They treat Mario awfully. They treat Mario so bad. You would never think that they even made the guy. You would think that they are a ripoff of Mario. Anything with Mario in the title, they destroy it. They they demolish it. They don't want anything with Mario in the title to be a good game. Oh yeah, I think we're calling this the new Super Mario Bros. What are we thinking? Huh. And we could actually add some new things. No, scratch that. Scratch that. Creative ideas for our most popular and loved franchise. You gotta be out of your mind. Giving the fans what they want, like billions of people what they want, and satisfying billions of people and having our sales go up. Are you absolutely insane? You must be. I don't believe that you work for Nintendo. You're an imposter. Because let's look at the last Nintendos. Now Scott the Woz already did a video on it. If you go to his channel, click most popular. It's his second most popular video. I think he analyzed it pretty good. But the message of that video was, yeah, Nintendo repeated the same thing for about 3 years in a row, which they did. Like, they basically did repeat the same thing. Even though there were some different things, it was still the same format. Like 6 times. Nintendo, dude, I promise you that New Super Mario Bros. For the Wii, like, helped that franchise so much. If there was no Super Mario Bros. New Super Mario Bros. Wii, that franchise would have been the worst franchise in video game history, I think. Because, listen, even though 2K did put out different things, that's not, like, that's not really a main storyline game. With Mario, that's mainly a storyline game. And then you reuse the same storyline so many times, except just changing a little bit of things. Listen. There were definitely some new things. It's just old feeling. Not like, it isn't like, there was no new feeling to each one. Like, there wasn't like, oh, I beat this, I feel so accomplished, or I beat this, that was easy, or I beat this, that was such a deep storyline. It was, I beat this. Let me go play the story. Let me go play the other modes. Let me do another run. I just wasted $60, and it's not fun. It's really not fun. Now, the first game I bought on my Nintendo Switch was Super Mario Bros. Or New Super Mario Bros. I'm sorry, I keep messing up on that. New Super Mario Bros. Deluxe. And you know what was deluxe about it? You want to know what was deluxe about it? Either I couldn't figure it out, or absolutely nothing. It wasn't. I guess it was on Nintendo Switch, but it's not. You don't call that a deluxe. See, you can't call, because a deluxe in anything is usually something that has better, or it's better than something. It's better than normal. You know, it's better than if you got the normal package for like $30. No, they call it deluxe because it's on the Nintendo Switch, which is not what deluxe means. That's not what it means. But Nintendo couldn't care less, because they're Nintendo. And like I said, anything with Mario in the title, they treat like trash. Because why should they take that franchise and maybe change something with it, you know? Why should they? Now, the new Super Mario Bros. Franchise could have been saved, or was saved, if it's part of the franchise. I don't know, does it have in the title, but it probably is. That whole thing is a franchise. So, but the best game we all know is New Super Mario 3D World. Now, Scott the Woz has a video on it, ranting about it, or not ranting, but criticizing it, that I have yet to watch. I want to play the game again, and so then I can prove him wrong, in my head. But that was something different. I will give them that. I did not point that out. That was something different on the Wii U. That was something very different. That was probably the best Wii U game, besides Wii U Sports. But, I mean, this is probably my favorite Mario game of all time. It's actually my favorite game of all time, if you can believe it. Super Mario 3D World is my favorite video game of all time. And I say that with full confidence of knowing that there are much better video games, much more creative video games, which are much better soundtracks and everything. But until I play Undertale on Halloween this year, that is going to be my favorite game of all time. Because it's such, you can play with 4 people. You can run around as cats, climbing up walls, beating super creative bosses that like that like link with the map and aren't just random. You can do that in a game. You don't have to imagine it anymore. Nintendo was like, what if we made it so that if you can bring 3 friends over, play as cats, run up walls, play super amazing bosses and maps, and it's 3D. I think we actually have a good idea in the Mario franchise. And I just yeah, good game. 10 out of 10. But there still is a lot to be said about it. I will admit, it does have some points in it. I just don't know them. But hopefully Scott the Waz does. Anyway, yeah, that's it. Bye.